welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is episode 20 now. Sorry for, my absence at the beginning of this week. I've been saying sorry a lot at the beginning of these episodes now. But I'm going to shoot to do it every Tuesday. Didn't get to it this week. Yesterday, ended up looking at some houses, looking to rent a house and move sometime here soon. So didn't really feel like doing it and thought, let's just do it to Thursday. Let's be in the spirits for it. It'll be one day away from the weekend. It's Friday Eve. So I'm feeling great. We have some football on tonight. I'm going to get this episode to you before that, just barely though. So, I don't think anyone's going to be listening to it before that, but we'll see how it goes. But anyways, we're back on the mic. We're back in the booth. I'm drinking me an Oktoberfest beer right now. It will be substituting for water to clear my throat if it gets itchy through this. But yeah, it's the first day of fall, I think, technically. So exciting in itself. I love it. I love the weather cooling down a bit. I think it's going to get hot again at some point, but right now it feels fucking fantastic outside. I cannot complain. And it's Thursday, so looking forward to get to this weekend. But yeah, guys, how's everyone doing? I hope you've been living well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I love you all. Thank you for listening. So we're going to go ahead and get that out there in the beginning of the episode as well. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for continuing with the support. But I don't know if you're going to see me this weekend. I've been thinking about it. There's a lot of things going on this weekend that really push the odds towards me staying home. Considering the Modern Warfare 2 beta is currently out. I just downloaded it. I think I can play right now. So as soon as I hop off the mic tonight, I'm probably going to throw that on, play some of that. I might even try to stream it at some point. So Purple Media Co. streaming on Twitch coming soon, potentially. I'm looking to actually expand and do some kind of YouTubing of some sort in terms of like video games. I watch enough YouTube. I play enough video games to the point where it's like I might as well, do something useful with it and actually record myself playing. It's just a matter of, the same thing with this podcast. It's just, taking that first dive, just jumping into it, saying, what the hell do I need to do it? Now let's do it. So I'll probably do that sometime soon. I'm going to try to, but that's going to be, dependent upon when I move into my new place. I want to wait till we do that. I get my desk situated, get a kind of office studio set up and everything. So Modern Warfare 2 beta, I think the actual game comes out like October 28th, but I'm going to try that out. I also purchased 2K23, so maybe we'll get these on camera sometime in the next few months or so. I'm not gonna press on it, and knowing me, I'll probably just fucking lose interest and not do it. But I'm gonna try to. I really want to do it, so we're gonna look into it. I've already looked a bit into it, so maybe that'll be coming soon. If you want to, if you want to see some YouTube from me, let me know. But there's that. So there's some video gameage. There's football, which is always a great deterrence from going out for me. I like watching the games. I didn't last weekend really, so maybe my commentary will be a little bad later. But there's that. Then there's also, the Rings of Power is going to have a new episode come out on Friday. House of Dragon, honestly, I've fallen behind in that, so I have some episodes to watch in terms of that. And then I think just yesterday, the Star Wars Andor just released 3 episodes. So there's shit, guys. You're probably not gonna see me out this weekend. That's all right though. But I guess that'll do it for the intro. Let's get into this thing a bit. We'll do some MLB news because I'm not gonna neglect you, you MLB fans. You deserve it. Baseball is, when it's baseball season, the best sport in the world. I get like that where, whatever sport it is, it feels like that one's my favorite at the time. So still love baseball. Got to give it its due. It's still going on. Aaron Judge, crazy, just hit his 60th home run of the year the other night, which ties Babe Ruth. And, I fucking hate the Yankees. I absolutely despise that team, but you got to imagine if you're Aaron Judge, if you're him in his shoes, just tying the home run record for a season for like the Yankees, historic baseball team ever, one of the most, or like the most historic baseball team ever. Babe Ruth, literally like the name of like old baseball. in tying his record, which he's due to break at this point, honestly. So you got to think how cool that is for him, and you can't appreciate that as a fan of the game. Even though fuck the Yankees, you're going to lose to the Astros again in the playoffs. So it really doesn't matter. It's all for naught. Sorry, Aaron Judge. You can get the Triple Crown and be the best player. One of the best players, have the best baseball season of all time. Honestly, it might go down as that for an individual player. So we'll see what their team does. You'll probably lose it. Fuck you, Yankees. But that Albert Pujols, another team that, like, as a Cubs fan, I don't like the Cardinals at all. I don't like Albert Pujols, but you have to respect it. This guy is 42 years old, and let's just look at this real quick. This guy is 42 years old, batting .262, has 19 home runs. See, like, the numbers aren't insane, but his OPS is 050 or 850, which, I don't know how many of you are really that deep into baseball, but if you have above a 7.6, 7.5, you're an above average baseball player. So this guy's 42, breaking into the, like, he's well over that 760 mark, 750 mark. So he's having an incredibly productive season at this age when it was supposed to be like his send-off. He's 2 home runs away from being the 4th player in baseball history of ever hitting 700 home runs. So that is awesome shit to hear. It is not one of my players. It's actually a rival team, a rival player for many years who, had much success against us as a Cubs fan. But damn, way to go, Albert Pujols. Class Act 2, goes back home, and he's due to break that record, really. I think there's about 15 games left in the season. So I honestly do hope he gets it. If he doesn't, he's almost 99% positive going to come back, at least to just hit that last one. You have Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and it's going to be Albert Pujols. Alex Rodriguez at 5th with 696 home runs. No dog in him, obviously. Dude, you have 4 more home runs to get to 600 or 700 and you just quit? Whatever, but he might have been, I don't know. There could have been other outlying factors. I didn't dig too deep into it, but 4 home runs away from 700 and you fucking quit. Kind of lame. Kind of fitting for Alex Rodriguez as well. But we'll continue moving forward here with the Cubs update. I talked to you all last week about it. I said we were about to play the Mets. DeGrom was pitching. We don't know how it's going to go. Turns out we win the game, and it is the biggest upset in baseball, like betting, like for the last 3 years. We were plus 340 and won that game against DeGrom. We actually ended up sweeping the Mets in New York, so that's pretty awesome in itself. And like when a season is already over, of course, it's like, I guess it's just a little trophy to take for us. But anyways, we then lose to the Rockies in a 3-game series. So we lose 2-1 to the Rockies in a series. Just beat the Marlins actually last night for that series. Win that one 2-1, and we'll be playing the Pirates later today. Season wrapping up. Like I said, we're out of it. We're not going to make the playoffs, but not the worst season. I like some things that I saw from it. We're actually going to finish 3rd in the NL Central because the Reds and the Pirates are pretty shitty baseball teams. That's who we're finishing out against. We're actually playing some of the worst baseball teams in baseball to finish our season. Like the Rockies are the worst team in the NL West. The Marlins are the 2nd worst team in the NL East at 61 and 89. But we're going to finish at 3rd. The Brewers looking like they got an outside. No, they look like they're in the wild card. No, they're right outside of it, I think, right now. But anyways, we're going to come in 3rd. Better days ahead for the boys. I think we can get there in the next few years, no doubt. But baseball is wrapping up. Looks like the Mets and the Braves have already clinched, so they'll be in. This is the first year with 6 teams from each side, so we have 3 divisional winners, and then we'll have 3 wild cards again. The Dodgers are a terrifying team. I wouldn't like to play them in the playoffs, that's for sure. But should be coming soon. season wrapping up. The American League, the Yankees are currently leading the AL East with the Jays, Rays in a close race for second. They'll probably both clinch a wild card spot just because the AL Central is so damn bad. The White Sox, outside shot at being a wild card team. They're, I guess, 6 games behind probably the Rays at this point in terms of the wild card race. The Astros have already won the division as well as, clinched a playoff spot. The Mariners are fighting for one. Angels, Rangers, Athletics have no shot there. But you know what? Let's go ahead and just, I guess the last thing I want to touch on was the Cubs. Frank the Tank, I did put something out there. Goodbye. Thank you for your service on the team. Exciting guy. Wished more would have came from it, of course, but you know how it goes. Thank you for it. You provided some pretty exciting times, and you've always, been a very classy, high-spirit guy that was fun to watch on the television screen. So let's move on now to a little fantasy blurb of it in itself. If that's, I don't even know, a fantasy blurb. We're gonna call it that. We're gonna touch on fantasy just because of how shitty my start has been, in terms of how I've been fucked over to this point. But last week, both my teams are 0-2, so let's get that out there to begin with. But last week I lose 157 to 155. Score this, I think it actually ended up being the third most. So there were 2 teams in the league that could have beat me this week. Of course, I played one of them. Awesome, that's a great start. Other league, let's go to week 2 here. I get beat 170 to 168. That's a 10-man league, so that's why we scored a little more. I guess it was a 5-man league and a 5-woman league. It's a little couples league, but I got beat by Madeline Olges. She's been on the podcast. I need to name drop her here. She deserves it. To be honest, there was some banter going on. She was talking in the group chat of the fantasy league. I responded back, "Oops," when my team had got a big enough lead to where I had thought it was over. So it took an 88-point performance on Monday night for her team to come storming back to beat me 170 to 168. She has Jalen Hurts goes for 33 points, Stephon Diggs goes for 44 points, and A.J. Brown has 11. Isn't that isn't that fantasy hell? I mean, there's just no other way to describe that but fantasy hell. So in this league right now, I have scored, I think in both my leagues, I have scored the second most. I've scored the first point or the second or first most points, 4th points, and then I've been scored the first most against and second most against. I know I said that horribly, but you get the picture. I'm scoring points, but I'm just getting points scored against me, and I'm 0-2 in both leagues. So hopefully we can turn it around. It's getting a little spooky. My quarterback play has been iffy in all my leagues, so I'm going to go with, I picked up the goofball in my other league. I don't know if I still rock with Russell Wilson. I think I might give him one more week, and then I'm going to look for a new quarterback in another league. But Jared Goofball is going to be my quarterback. He's been slinging that cocoa. So let's see how he does it this week. And because I really don't need him out of quarterback play. I mean, I had Trey Lance. He broke his ankle. He scored 2.5 points. My team scored 158. So we're going to score points, I think. We have Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill at the wide receiver position, as well as Cortland Sutton. All the way around, pretty good play. Tampa Bay defense got me 29 points last week as well. So we get that quarterback position scoring me about a nice 15 points. My running backs can hold me to about 10 to 15. I think my receivers can make up for it. I think I got a pretty good team. It's just a matter of not getting screwed over, basically. So we'll see how that goes. We'll touch on it moving forward into, I guess, the main conversations of today's episode. We'll recap the college football season so far, or week 3, and for the NFL season, we will wrap up week 2 on that. I'm going to take a drink here of my Oktoberfest beer, which I purchased from Total Wine prior to this. Thank you for your patience. Now diving in. The Cats continue winning with a 31-0 victory against Youngstown State. Not an exciting game. Honestly, just hate these games, and especially because of how Kentucky typically comes out in them. So I think I touched on it earlier that we would probably come out slow. I didn't touch this game. I don't like betting on the Cats and spreads just because the way we do play in these games. But anyways, we do end up winning 31-0, but at the end of the first quarter it was 0-0. We scored 21 in the second quarter. Overall, it just wasn't. We didn't look very clean playing the ball or playing. We dominated the game, but just some dumb things we definitely will need to clean up throughout the season. So still sitting pretty. I think we moved up to the 8th this week, but not much to really be said about it. Will Levis needs to keep throwing the ball. Well, I meant to say Will Levis needs to stop throwing interceptions, just dumb ones, because that's gonna fuck us over in close games. I can almost guarantee you that. If he keeps doing that, it's gonna lose us a game this year, no doubt. When we're playing stiffer competition there, but let's get Chris Rodriguez back at some point soon. Let's look at the schedule ahead. We got Northern Illinois, so we got another little. I don't even want to call them a cupcake because if we fucking lose, like that would be so terrible. Northern Illinois, on paper, they should be a better team probably than Youngstown State, even though Youngstown State was undefeated coming into the game. So we take Northern Illinois, got to win that one, of course. That's at Kroger Field. But the next week, that's when it starts getting a little tougher for the boys. We'll be heading down to Ole Miss playing, I guess they're number 16 currently, so we'll see what they are then. But that should be a fun game. Hopefully, somehow let's find a way to get fucking game day away from Alabama, because it's looking like game day is going to be Arkansas, Alabama that week. Wouldn't it be cool to be Kentucky and Ole Miss at Ole Miss? Wouldn't that just be a little more exciting than seeing Alabama again on College game day? Would for me, anyways. But South Carolina, the week after that, Mississippi State, Tennessee. So we get into the tougher games, of course. It's gonna be a battle. So we'll see how the team does it. If they keep going. Will Levis, if he can cut down those interceptions. Chris Rodriguez, he's gonna have some fresh legs, but he might be a little out of condition as well. So pros and cons of him, getting that suspension and not playing to begin this year. That was a very good point that I heard. It's like, he's going to come in. He is going to be fresh. He's going to be 4 games into the season without even having, like a nick on him. But at the same time, he could be a little out of condition because he hasn't had that full game speed yet. So we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to it. We play at 7 p.m. at Kroger Field. Won't be making it out to that one. Like I said, I'm probably going to be right here in my house playing video games and watching football. It sounds like the best day ever, honestly. And then Sunday is going to be more of the same, of course. But let's look around the country here. There's not a great way to do this, or I haven't figured one out yet. But I'm going to scroll through these games. I see scores here. If I have anything to say about them, I'm going to say something about them. If I don't, I'm just going to pass over it. There's no real order to that, but that's just how it's going to go. I'm going to take another sip here, guys. Cheers. All right, so first game here starting out Friday. Who else but the Louisville Cardinals in Florida State? Very fun game to watch, to be honest. I bet on that game. I think I hit both my bets in it, so even more fun in that regards. I tried to keep myself away from hater betting Florida State. And it wasn't even hater betting because I'm thinking with my head when I'm betting. There's no really, I try to stay away from being biased in those terms. But sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you don't even recognize your bias. But Louisville plays Florida State really well. Jordan Travis gets hurt, which really kind of sucked for the game in itself, considering that he was a Louisville player at one point. So that took away from some of it. But then, Florida State's sophomore quarterback, I think he was a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore. Redshirt sophomore. Redshirt sophomore sounds right. Comes in the game and actually plays really well. I can't think of his name currently, but Florida State ends up winning 35-31. Louisville looking a lot better than that initial game against Syracuse. At the same time, their defense might look just as bad still. It's just a matter of the offense has picked up now, so they're scoring points, but that defense is pretty pathetic. So, not much to say about you, Cards fans. At least you have offense. I would rather have offense than a defensive team. I'd rather score points than not score points, and have a defensive game. So 35-31, if you're a shootout team, you can maybe luck into a win here or there. If you can't score points, you're not going to win many games. So moving forward here, we're not seeing much. Arizona State, East Michigan. Fucking hell. Herm Edwards, that's his name. Herm Edwards is fired, I think, during that game. I don't know all the specifics of it, but I've heard those rumblings, or somewhere in my peripherals I've heard that's what happened. So the Arizona State, Herm Edwards returning to coaching, not working out for him. Goodbye. They lose 30-21. Fresno State, USC. I touched on that one a little bit. I talked about it. I thought Fresno State might be able to play him to some extent. I don't know what I was thinking about. I don't know what the bet was there. I thought they might be able to cover. They didn't. They lose 45 45-17. USC looks really good still. Utah beat San Diego State 35-7. There was apparently a nuclear bomb threat or something. If Utah didn't beat San Diego State, some student said they were going to bomb Utah. I don't fucking know how. I doubt she has a nuclear bomb if I'm putting money on it. But that's just, that's the fun fact I have associated with that game. Texas beats UTSA. I thought UTSA could have played them pretty decent. 41-20, not a bad game. I don't know if I said the Utah-San Diego State game, but that's 35-7. Moving on to Miami, Texas A&M. Not a great game. I didn't actually catch much of it either. I think I was out and about and, doing my drinking thing on a Saturday. But Texas A&M does beat Miami 17-9. I took Miami in that game just because, why not? But I didn't feel great about it. I kind of felt like that was a trap throughout because, Texas A&M on paper should be pretty good. I don't know I think it was 6.5 to Miami, honestly. So they almost covered. But Texas A&M wins that one. What else are we seeing here? Clemson stays on roll with 48-20 performance against Louisiana Tech. I think they have actually a game this week. So, as in like a good game this week. They'll be playing for some kind of formidable opponent, not Louisiana Tech. So we'll see if this is the game that DJU goes out to get replaced because, I guess he's played all right, but I haven't seen him since the first game, and he wasn't great then. And then their backup quarterback, I can't think of his name right now either, came in and just kind of lit it up. So I think it's a matter of time that DJU ends up getting replaced on that Clemson team just because that Clemson team is really good defensively, but there's just times with him at quarterback in that offense where they can't move the ball, and at some point you're going to lose that game. Your defense can only do so much. Florida survives a thriller to South Florida, 31-28. So Florida looking pretty soft. They're still ranked 18th, or I guess that was last week. We'll see what they end up after this week. Pittsburgh gets back on track after losing to Tennessee, beats Michigan 34-13. Michigan State does get beat by Washington. I took Michigan State in that one too, so another leg of the parlay that misses, as it goes, of course. But Washington wins 39-28, and Washington didn't catch much of that game either. So I think that Washington kind of went up big early, and just Michigan got some trash points to make it a little closer in the end. Texas Tech does get beat by NC State 27-14. I like Texas Tech in that one. I took them. I actually took a money line. Fuck, it's so terrible. I really didn't. I just didn't catch much of the game. I went out to the Louisville City soccer game, so there were just some games I couldn't check, or I couldn't watch actually. But I really liked that Texas Tech team. As a money line bet, you had great odds, but they only lose by 13 at NC State Stadium, so they played them well. they could have, I'm sure things could have gone here or there for both teams, but not much else to say there. Ohio State beats Toledo 77-21. Wow, a lot of points. Arkansas plays a close game with Missouri State, 38-27. Don't know what to think about that. Didn't see it. I guess we'll see how Arkansas plays. I don't know who they play this week, but next week against Alabama. Maybe they'll lose this week, and maybe we will get game day at Ole Miss with the Cats. Oklahoma State wins 63-7 against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Who the fuck cares? Not me. Tennessee beats Akron. Same shit. Who cares? 63-6. LSU does beat Mississippi State, so that's an SEC matchup with two teams that aren't even ranked, who honestly most of the time are. A little fall off. I guess Mississippi State isn't as formidable, and LSU is always kind of streaky. They have really shit teams sometimes, but 31-16 is the score of that one. Wake Forest. I wish I would have seen this game. Going over these scores, Wake Forest and Liberty 37-36. I really wish I would have watched this game. Would have been very, very exciting, I'm sure. But nonetheless, I did not. So can't say much about it, except it looked pretty cool. Alabama 63-7 against UL Monroe. Who the hell cares? Kansas beats my Houston team that I like. So, that tells you a lot. I like that Houston team early, but Kansas, how about them? What was that? I posted it. It's the Blue Bloods of college basketball. This is the first time in college football history that Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, and UNC are all 3-0. Wild. Cheers to that, I guess. Penn State demolishes Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Let's go. Even though, I don't like Penn State, but it was pretty funny to see Auburn lose that bad at home. I had a bad experience one time traveling to Auburn. Not in that, I had a great time, but there were also the people that weren't my friends that I had to encounter as Auburn fans, and as I was a Kentucky fan there. Just absolute nerds. So I love you, Brewer, but Auburn can get lost, essentially. Ole Miss beats Georgia Tech 42-0, so they look good coming into a matchup with us shortly. BYU gets beat by Oregon 41-20. I did take that one. I did take the Ducks, and I felt really smart about it, even though going into it, I initially had picked BYU, but somehow or another just really talked myself out of it and went with Oregon. So awesome. I'm going to act like I'm smart, but I'm not. I just got lucky, probably. But that's betting, guys, right? Damn, there are way more games than I thought. I'm going to stop touching on all of these. Western Kentucky covers. Honestly, should have beat Indiana 33-0. They lose. I think they missed a field goal at the end of the game, too. Georgia looks insane still, beating South Carolina 48-7. That's not even like a shitty-ass team. That's South Carolina getting demolished. They should have at least a respectable performance against Georgia, wouldn't you think? But 48-7, oh my God. So, needless to say, Georgia is not going to be a fun team to play later in the season. Michigan, the assholes of Michigan, win 59-0 against UConn. Way to go! You beat up on a little guy, dickheads. I took the large spread there. I took UConn plus 47.5, and I'm never gonna make those bets ever again, just because I've done it twice now, and they both times they just fucking suck. Syracuse Purdue, that was an absolute thriller. Syracuse almost walks it off basically at the end of the game. I think there was some really dumb shit that happened to Purdue. Oklahoma, Nebraska. I put most of my money on the weekend on Oklahoma there and the spread -11, and they did not disappoint. Nebraska is a pathetic Division I football team as well. Oh my gosh, we made it all the way to the top. Cincinnati and Miami. Cincinnati wins 38-17. Close game though. That was almost tied going into half. I guess that's a horrible thing to say, but at one point Miami was up 17-10. I want to say 17 to, I don't know. Anyways, Miami or Cincinnati comes back, wins that one. Go Bearcats. Moving forward to next week, we're only going to look at top 25 games this week. I have not looked at all of them yet, but we'll see what we have in mind here. I'm going to go quick picks with this. Do we do it with the spread or do we do it without the spread? Baylor, Iowa State. Iowa State's minus 2.5. Iowa State's undefeated, so this is in Iowa State. So, Iowa State is kind of mean, but Baylor. Let's go Baylor. Baylor plus 2.5. I'll take that. Clemson, Wake Forest. Wake Forest is plus 7. I'm going to stick to my guns and say DJU has a bad game, and Wake Forest, with a pretty formidable offense, even against that Clemson defense, scores points. I'm going to take Wake Forest plus 7. Honestly, Wake Forest money line is interesting to me. I would love to see those odds. Don't have them right now. Penn State, Central Michigan. I don't even want to touch that because it's minus 28. We won't think about that. Georgia, Kent State, wouldn't touch that with a 90-foot pole either. That's just, I don't care for it. Michigan, Maryland. Michigan minus 17. Let's take Maryland plus 17. Fuck you, Michigan. Pittsburgh, Rhode Island. They don't even give us a spread on that. Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee is minus 10.5, and Florida is at ranked 20 now, so they've moved back. I say we do. Let's take Tennessee minus 10.5. Florida kind of stinks, right? That's what everyone's thinking. I'm not going to touch that Miami game. Texas Tech. Texas Tech is plus 7. What do we think, guys? This is tough. Right on the spot, let's take Texas Tech plus 7. Oregon, Washington State plus 6.5. I'm taking Oregon. They looked really, really good last week in BYU. I mean, they were the 12th ranked team in the country. So we'll take that. Tulsa, Ole Miss. Ole Miss minus 21.5. I would take them there. Arkansas, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a minus 2 favorite. Let's take Texas A&M to win that game. I don't like Arkansas. Let's let Arkansas lose and give us game day. Kentucky, Northern Illinois. Let's take us minus 26.5. Sure. NC State versus UConn. Man, UConn looked so bad last week. 38.5. I would take NC State 38.5 minus 38.5. Alabama against Vandy. Horrible game, minus 40.5. Sure. Alabama, you can. Yeah. You know what? No, I'm not. I would take Vandy to cover. Let's take Vandy to cover. I'm not actually betting all these, so don't bet all these. Don't think that I'm like that confident in them. Of course, you can probably tell that I'm not super confident in these. All right, guys. So, not exactly sure what happened there. I got confused for a second, but we're back on it. Ohio State, Wisconsin. Ohio State is a minus 19 favorite. I'm going to take that. Oklahoma, Kansas State, minus 12.5. Oklahoma's had trouble against Kansas State in the past. But that Oklahoma looked really solid last week, so we'll take them minus 12.5. USC, Oregon State. USC is only a minus 6 favorite. I think I might just be hammering that, guys. I think I really just might be. So BYU, Wyoming, 21.5 points to BYU, or subtracted from BYU. My bad. I said that incorrectly there. Wyoming will cover 21.5 there. Stanford, Washington. I like Washington. You know what? I'm going to ride them. Washington minus 13.5. We'll do that. Utah is a minus 15.5 favorite against Arizona State. Pretty ugly. I'll take Utah on that one as well. Minus 15.5. So that'll do college football. I think I forgot to do the rankings, but they stayed pretty much the same. What were any upsets here? Let's see if anyone moved big. Penn State moves up from 14 from 22. Oregon moves up from 25th to 15th. Ole Miss moves from 20 to 16. BYU moved back to 19th. Florida back to 20th. Nothing crazy other than that. Miami moves back to 25th from 13th. I guess that makes sense, but that'll do it there. Let's move on to NFL football. We're closing in on, we're at 35 minutes here, so we'll see how long this is going to take. But the Fins, oh my, what else? What else can we begin with? The Miami Dolphins beat the Ravens in Baltimore 42-38 with, Tua Tagovailoa throwing for 469 yards on 36 completions out of 50 attempts, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Wow. Let's go. Receiving wise, Tyreek Hill has 13 receptions for 11 receptions for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle has 11 receptions for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns. An absolutely historic offensive week. It's awesome to see it. The comeback was also historic. I think teams trailing by 21 points in the fourth quarter since 2011 or 12 were 0 and 711. They're now 1 and 712. So go Fins. Historic comeback. It started off just so poorly. Hell, I barely even had the game on when they, I think it's Devin Duvernay returned a 103-yard kickoff for a touchdown. So we're down 7-0 to literally begin the game. We end up coming down, moving the ball pretty well. Tua tries to force the ball, throws it's not the worst interception. The guy had to make a good play on it to make the actual interception, but they did make the play, and it was an interception. So drive stops. Ravens go down, move it to our 1 or so yard line. We stop them. They fumble on the goal line. We end up coming back down, scoring a touchdown, tie game 7-7. You're feeling pretty good. This is the second quarter. And then the Ravens go off for 21 unanswered points going into the half. It is 7-28. We get the ball at half. It's a consolation. At this point, I'm already thinking, okay, this game's probably over. Let's see Tua slang that Coco. Let's see it. Give it fucking to us. I need to see it happen. I need to know if he can do it. I mean, there have been so many doubters on Tua. And I'm not saying most of it is probably a little too far and a little too unjust with how he has been just viewed. He's had a tough situation coming in. A coach didn't necessarily want him. Always having to deal with the shadow of Justin Herbert. Obviously, I would take Justin Herbert over Tua. I'm not an idiot. I'm not blind. But Sunday showed you that you Sunday showed you that you don't have to be Josh Allen. You don't have to be Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, to be an extremely successful quarterback. Obviously, we have weapons and you have to surround them around him, but he has them. He's comfortable. He has a coach that likes him, who is schemed for him. 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Yeah, bad ones. He still makes bad throws. So, there's still that inconsistency. I need to see more consistency from him. Because that first half was a little ugly. I think we moved the ball decently well, but those interceptions were big. And neither of them had to happen. But to answer with, to answer with 5 touchdowns in the second half, I mean, talk about resiliency to some extent. I mean, I loved it. It was unbelievable watching that game. As a Dolphins fan, you can imagine, because I don't know how many of you really are. How many of these games in my life have I had, that I can feel this good about my team? And there's more to be done. And, of course, we have to play the fucking Bills the week after this. So, I think we still lose that game, even though they're just riding an insane amount of momentum. I'm still going to bet on the boys. I believe in us. We might as well. But that Bills team is a whole different animal I don't know if there's another team that really looks close yet. I mean, they've only played 2 games. It is so early, so maybe we're all overreacting. Maybe the Dolphins suck. Maybe Tua still is terrible. And I'm not going to – he still has more he needs to prove consistency-wise for me. But, wow, this game felt awesome. I'm so glad we were able to actually win it. You know, even if we lost that game, if it came down and we didn't score that last touchdown, we didn't take the lead and win the game, I think overall this game still feels like a win with, like what came out of it, what we saw. So excited for this week ahead. It's a very, very tough Bills team, and our schedule is pretty just tough all the way around. But a lot of very fun things to come, a very exciting time as a Miami Dolphins fan. I'm proud of it. Let's go, boys. Keep it rolling. Tua, keep doing your thing, man. You don't have to have the biggest fucking arm in the world. And he can throw the ball fine. Come on, shut the hell up, people. He can throw the ball fine. Holy hell. But things still to come ahead. We play the Bills. That Cincinnati game at Cincinnati on Thursday isn't looking as formidable at this point as it had in the early year. But then we'll have the Jets, who honestly look like a team that wants to play football more than the Bengals at this point. So at MetLife, following that. And then the Vikings, not a good showing on Monday night, but the Eagles might be that real thing too. So those are 3 games ahead. Much more to the season. No point in even looking at like divisional wins, right? Or like your rankings and divisional rankings right now with 2 games in. But big divisional game this Sunday. Let's go, Fins. Let's beat the Bills. We're playing at Hard Rock. It's going to be even harder to take one from them in Orchard Park. So hopefully we can take one of these games and at least take the one in Hard Rock here with home and field advantage there. We're going to look at the scores of this previous week. Great game on Thursday, Chargers-Chiefs. Why the hell is the Chargers coach still playing Justin Herbert? The game's over. You're down by 2 scores with like less than a minute. He just obviously broke his fucking ribs. You jackass. He's your franchise quarterback. Get him out of the game. This game doesn't matter. But anyways, they keep him in the game. He converts 2 fourth-down plays to ruin my parlay. I had the Chiefs minus, I guess it was minus 3.5. So yes, I miss. I guess it was the first half under. I took it. So, man, that one really hurt in terms of betting. It's like it just should not have happened. They should not have covered, but they did. That's how it goes. Other games, I guess the Sunday night game. I don't know why it gives me this one right now, but we won't touch on that one yet. Let's go to these other games. All right, shit, we will. Bears-Packers. Bears look really bad offensively. Justin Fields, 70 passing yards. Disgusting. Just disgusting. Something has to that Bears team is ugly, dude. They cannot do shit on offense, and, the defense is worse than it was last year. So, scary things coming out of Chicago. I guess I'm glad I'm a Dolphins fan. That's the first time I've been able to say that in a long-ass time. Broncos barely beat the Texans. A lot of questions come out of Denver as well with Russell Wilson. I have my questions myself. He might not be my fantasy quarterback for too long. Cincinnati, same deal. Hangover from the Super Bowl. Lose 20-17 to the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. Man, bad look. No doubt. And the Cowboys, they get a win. Good for you guys who you also feel like a very sad team right now, but that's a win. You'll take it. Cardinals winning a thriller against the Raiders. That was a very fun game after the Cardinals put on a just absolutely embarrassing performance in week 1 against the Chiefs there, but the Chiefs are that team too. The Raiders lose. They're 0-2 now at this point. 49ers beat the Seahawks 27-7. Big story there. Trey Lance breaks his ankle in half. I am out of fantasy quarterback. Honestly, it's the reason why I lost that game. I'm not blaming it on that. I'm sorry. that happened to you. I'm not insensitive to the fact, but man, I know Jimmy G's pretty insensitive to it. He was smiling like he just woke up on Christmas morning. Man, he was happy to be back in. And you got to feel that for him too, though, at the same time. You can't be like, dude, that's kind of fucked up that he's he's in there smiling. But think about it. This guy has a finite time that he can play football in this league. He has a even more finite amount of time that he can be a starter. So, injury happens. He's now the starting quarterback. And guess what? The 49ers' odds to win the Super Bowl go up. Insanity, honestly, if you really think about it. Like, this is a team that technically can compete for the Super Bowl. And I get you're trying to get your new young quarterback in. I do. I understand it. So, just weird situation overall. I can see both sides of it. But Jimmy G brings something to that team that has, proven successful. So we'll see how it goes. They win 27-7. They're 1-1. Next game, Falcons-Rams. Falcons are giving everyone a battle. But you just have to think what would happen if Desmond was in the game. Falcons, you'd probably win the game, but you have Marcus Mariota in. So you're not winning these yet. They're close games. Your team's ready to play. They just went toe-to-toe with the defending national NFL champions, the Rams, in SoFi. 31-27 is the end score of that game. Let's get Desmond in there. We'll win some games, Falcons. Commanders-Lions becomes a game somehow or another. The Lions are fun. Think about that again. The Lions are fun. Wow. But yeah, they are. I picked up the goofball, so I'm excited to root for him. Jared Goofball will be slinging that Coco. Continuing for the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown is catching that ball as well. For whatever reason, they have his stats listed twice for receiving yards, and they have two different stats. Bizarre. But that team's fun. The Commanders actually play well, too. So both those quarterbacks I'm eyeing as someone who doesn't have very good quarterbacks on their team. Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, I think I can get serviceable play out of both. So moving forward, Saints lose to the Buccaneers. Very defensive game. Tom Brady, lucky he has a defense again. He's gonna make plays if you keep him in the game long enough. He made that throw, but man, their offense doesn't look consistent. Mike Evans is gonna be out this week, so we'll see what happens there. Jets Browns, 31-30. Wow, what a game! Another one of the unbelievable comeback games. The Jets win. I think they were down like 14 or 13 points within in the last however so many minutes of the fourth quarter. Wild. Patriots get their first win of the year against the Steelers at not Heinz Field, but in Pittsburgh, whatever it's called now. Dolphins game, touched that already. Jaguars on the Colts. The Colts are 0-1-1, and they couldn't have looked worse doing it. 24-0 is the score of that game. A lot of sadness out of Indianapolis right now. I can assure you of that. My buddy Brewer, as a Auburn fan and a Colts fan, he's going to have a rough year, guys. Wish him well. Giants, Panthers. The Giants, 2-0, baby. Way to go. Vanilla Vic out there. Daniel Jones, not slinging that Coco, but doing his thing. Vikings, Eagles, 24-7. Vikings looked real bad. I did have them. They lost that game pretty good. But 24-7, gave up no points. What a terrible second half. 0 points scored in the second half. And then we got the Bills absolutely demolishing the Titans, 41-7. I got that one right. Oh, man, they beat them very bad. Just think about this. The Miami Dolphins come off a win, 42-38 against the Ravens, who are a high Super Bowl pick in Baltimore, and I still just feel terrible about this game. Not terrible, but man, because I guess there's an associated indifference to some extent, because I really do feel like we're probably going to lose this game. I want to see how we compete. I want to see us play. And maybe this is me just being too negative on my team because I've seen it for so long, but that Bills team is damn good. We are playing in Miami. We have weapons. We can play, but defensively, we're going to struggle. So if we have any kind of hitch on offense, if we have a slow day, we're going to get beat in that game, I think, if those things happen, no doubt. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it. Looking ahead, I guess, no, let's go to the games ahead. I'm going to do my quick picks again. We're running up on 50. Man, I have no fucking clue how I talked this long. But Steelers, Browns. Browns are -4.5. That game is tonight. Honestly, it's going to start in 2 hours from now. It's 6:09. That's kind of a funny number. Sorry, I'm childish. But Steelers, Browns. Browns -4.5. We are in Cleveland. I mean, let's take the Browns, man. Mitch is still in there. So I'm going to take the Browns -4.5. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that. They still have Mitch in there. Kenny Pickett's coming at some point. When? I don't know. But maybe it ends up being tonight, but I don't think Mitch is going to do it. Ravens, Patriots this week. Patriots are a +2.5 dog. I'm taking the Patriots -2.5 all day long. They're good, and they scheme well against Lamar decently. But no, I don't think the Patriots play in that game. Dolphins +5.5. That's all they're giving us. So Dolphins +5.5. I'll never not take my team. Don't worry about it. Jets +6 against the Bengals. You would think the Bengals got to win a game, but I almost like the Jets, man. I'm going to take the Jets +6 there too. Vikings, Lions. I'm taking the Lions +6. Love that pick right now, honestly. Let's go Lions. You deserve it. Bears -2.5 against the Texans. I'm absolutely going to take the Texans +2.5. The Bears can't score points. Chiefs, Colts. Chiefs are only +5.5. I'm going to take the Chiefs there. Raiders, Titans. Titans are a +2.5 dog. Raiders. That's a tough one. These are two 0-2 teams who, like, on paper should be pretty decent, but aren't. The Raiders have been in 2 close games. Let's take the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders -2. Saints, Panthers. Let's take the Panthers -2, or the Saints -2.5 there. Eagles, Commanders. Eagles are -6.5. Commanders are only +6.5. I will take the Eagles in this one, even though I was kind of shitting on them last week. Chargers, Jaguars. Chargers are a -7 favorite. Does Herbie play? I don't know. I'm going to take the Chargers -7. Actually, no. I'm going to take the Jaguars +7, even if Herbie plays. Bold pick. Falcons, Seahawks. That's a pick 'em. Wow. Falcons, come on. Let's go Dez. Start him, guys. Pick 'em between the Buccaneers and Packers. It's in Tampa with a just. Oh, we just have to take the Bucs defense. I'm doing it. Buccaneers defense gets that one done for Tom. Gets his hand held again. Cardinals, Rams. I'm gonna take the the Cardinals +3.5 against the Rams. Broncos, 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers -1.5. Cowboys, Giants. Giants -1. Let's ride them. Vanilla Vic. You take it. Take it to the boys on Monday night. But that'll do it. We're at 53 minutes, guys. We're pushing on to 54. If you stuck around for the whole thing, I really do appreciate it. I'm excited for this week. We're not even going to look at the power rankings. Fuck it. It doesn't matter that much. Besides the Dolphins moving all the way up to 8th from 13th. So pretty cool. We're in 8th place in terms of the power rankings right now. Got to keep it ahead. Got to keep it rolling. Rankings don't matter shit until the end of the year because the only one that matters is first place. So let's go, boys. Let's keep winning games. Let's keep, doing our thing. You all out there, you listening, keep doing your thing. Keep living well. Take care of yourself. Tell your friends you love them. Hug your family. Do it all. All that shit that you need to be mindful of and do. Do it. Love people. Take care of people. Do your best. I love you all. I wish you the best. Let's have a fun weekend ahead. Looking forward to this night. Or this game tonight, I guess a little bit. I mean, it is just only the Browns and the Steelers, but whatever, divisional rivalry. Let's have fun. Let's get the weekend kick off. I'm going to have some more Oktoberfest beers, in my belly by the end of the night as well, and probably some hours with the Modern Warfare 2 beta under my belt. But looking forward to it. Let's wrap it up. Let's end this week strong, guys. Love you all. Thank you for listening. This is the Purple Podcast, episode number 20.